Choices with Jeanette. I'm Jeanette Harris, and thank you all so much for watching Choices with Jeanette. You can go to my website, which is www.choiceswithjeanette.com, and you'll see all of my times and stations. Yeah, they're all on there. And then you'll get to see some of the people that have been on my show. Really good. Good guess, good guess. But the guest we have today, she's so needed. She's so needed. Dr. Brenda Lynch, how are you?
I'm well, thanks.
You know what? Now, you wrote this book,
Yes,
Television.
Yes.
Television. Now, you know, the minute you said television, I thought you called my name. That's me, that's me, that's me.
That's what you said, right.
But anyway, this is a great book. You gave me a copy.
Yes.
And it is an easy reading book.
That's what I wanted to write. I was writing for parents, and I wanted to reach parents who are not strong readers. Many parents
Is that why I could read it so well? I'm not kidding.
Everybody should be able to read it well.
No, really.
I wanted an easy read. Yes.
It is an easy read because I was sitting in the bed reading it. And I was on page 40, and I was like, I am reading and reading and reading, and then I couldn't wait to get to the next chapter. And then you have so many good things in this book.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. I wanted to bring out a lot of things that parents need to know that would help them in their parenting, that would be beneficial to them, and I wanted to do it in a way that they would easily absorb and utilize the information.
So you did an experiment. You know, the most eye-catching part of it was the experiment. Tell them about the experiment.
Okay. We were on the chapter about word choice. I wanted to demonstrate that words do have power. And actually, I started the experiment in October of 2006. So the experiment is 5 years old now. In the experiment, I sterilized containers. I filled them with rice. Well, actually, with jars, so that you could see through the jar. And I filled 2 jars with rice.
Same rice.
Same rice.
Same
cooked
water.
in the same pot. Everything the same.
Everything.
They were sterilized at the same time. Filled both jars with the rice. And the only difference was the words that I chose to put on the rice. On one jar, I put the words, at that time I was working in a juvenile justice charter school. They had young men in lockup between 12 and 18 years old.
Wow, that's sad.
Yes. And these young men called each other's dogs and fools. And it hurt my heart. So I wanted to show them that you need to choose words that's going to help each other. So that's why I started the experiment.
Wow.
So in that classroom, I put the jars, and I also used some other things without water content. The reason being that I knew water is affected by words, affected by music. There were experiments already to show that. So I put the negative words on one jar, positive words on the other. And one day I was sitting in my classroom, one of the students came in and said, I didn't have my doctorate then. He said, Miss Lynch, one of the jars is turning brown. And there was a brown spot on one of the jars.
Wow.
And now the difference is just amazing, as the pictures in the book will show you.
That's awesome. Another thing you did in the book I found to be very interesting, you said when you look in the mirror and say the affirmations to yourself.
Oh, yes. I call that mirror work. So what I teach my students to do in my counseling, I counsel in the schools, and one of the hardest things for people to do, and many have not tried it, is to look at yourself in the mirror, look in your eyes. And once you are comfortable enough to do that, then start talking to yourself.
Wow.
Say some positive things to yourself, because what we all do, unless we have learned better, is we all put ourselves down. Oh, you were so stupid. Why did you do that? That's what we say to ourselves.
Not only do we say that and mean it, but we also say that in thinking that we're being funny. That is not funny. And it's still the same words with the same effect.
True. Very true. And so if you I think your very best friend should be yourself. So you need to get to know yourself. And mirror work is a great way to do that.
Now, I actually did this one. And what happens is, when I do seminars, I tell people, stand up and tell me 10 good things about yourself.
Great.
But I had never done it with a mirror in front. And when you do it with a mirror in front, it's different. Because I was looking at it, I was going, oh no, wrinkles. Oh no. You know,
We focus on everything but.
Oh no. Oh no, but you still had to say the good things.
You have to say good things.
And that was tough.
And a lot of times I'll do it passing mirrors that are in buildings. As I'm walking down a hallway, if I see a mirror, make myself look in my eyes in that mirror and say something good to Brenda.
I think it's wonderful. And I remember on one part of the book, one of your nieces was saying,
yes,
we're having that day.
Right.
So I am. How does that work?
Okay. That niece, we call her the millionaire motivator. She has just a wealth of great things to motivate you. So that day she had over one of our nieces, and she had a self-esteem day. So they called me and said, she said, I'm Brenda, we're having self-esteem day. I'm Nikki the Magnificent, and the niece was, I forget which niece it was, but they both had positive names for themselves. And they said, what's your name? Being caught off guard, it took me a minute, but I came back with Brenda Lynch wins. So,
I thought that was cute.
But all day we called each other those names. We called each other names that would help to solidify that we are champions, we are winners, we are victorious.
Wow. Now, you know, I'm trying to get here, I'm hitting here with the
Yes.
rice. Then I went to the mirror, and then, but I want to get back to the word.
Yeah. Okay. Well, one of the things that happened, I wanted to be able to show the young people that we shouldn't use that word. It's too close to the word that has been used so many years to degrade us. And so I did an extension of my experiment. This time I only put one word on, one phrase on each jar. I had 12 jars, and I did love, hate. I did put, because the young people were telling me that N-I-G-G-A-H is different than N-I-G-G-E-R.
Okay.
And they said we use N-I-G-G-A-H. I was really surprised when I put those two words on two different jars, and the N-I-G-G-A-H did not change.
Wow.
It's remained. And I was speaking with with Pastor Skelton about that. Pastor Skelton, very insightful man, he said, oh, because the intent of the word when it was developed was different.
The intent of the word.
The intent. Those young men started using that word to mean my brother, my comrade, my friend. And the other word was not started with that intent. It was intended to be degrading.
So what's your bottom line on it?
I say that the intent of a word will determine whether or not that word is a positive word or negative. And because of that positive or negative, that's what affects the water in that rice.
So what's your bottom line on it? Between and
okay, what the research,
that's how
right,
I really
that's what they say. But what the research showed me was that because the intent was not derogatory, that word did not have that kind of connotation, and that can be extended to the names we call ourselves, the names that we are named. I have, one of the things I like to do in the stores when I see young women with babies, and I ask them, what's the child's name? I also ask them, what does that name mean?
And that's important.
Right.
That's so important.
And many times they might not they don't know what the name means.
Okay.
But one of the things I teach them is you need to know what the name means, and you need to teach that child what the name means. A lot of times we are named because it sounds cute. We pick names, we put some letters together. That looks good. We say, that sounds cute, and that's what we name our child with no thought about the meaning. As a matter of fact, I talked with a young lady. She said, well, my mother just chose my name because she said she liked the way it sounded. And she seemed dejected because she didn't know what her name meant. There she was, a young woman in her 20s. So I told her, the good thing about that, when you put together some letters and make your own name, you can determine the meaning. You can make the meaning.
So make that real clear.
Okay. So if my mom named me Swarette because she liked the way Swarette sounds, and Swarette is not a real name, then my mom can attach, right, she can attach a meaning to that name. So as I grow, she can tell me, I named you Swarette because I think Swarette, it means graceful or...
Oh, great.
Yes. And if I grow up knowing Swarette means graceful, whenever I hear my name Swarette, I think graceful, and it also helps me to pull graceful out of my being.
Wow.
Yes. And that's what I told that young lady, and she was really happy to know I can attach a meaning to my name. Wow. And I can help myself become what I want to be.
Wow.
Yes.
Awesome. You know, I've tried to go through your whole book real quick.
Okay.
If someone wanted a copy of it, what do they need to do? Well, it's an easy read. I'm telling you, people give me books all the time. I get books from New York. I get books from everywhere. People give me books all the time. And I'll start reading them and I'll say, you know, okay, I'm going to have to get back to that. Mm-hmm. But your book, I kept saying, and I mean in an hour. I was on page 40.
Okay.
And it's not because the writing is so big. It's just very good. But you know what? This is an awesome book. I see great, great things in your path. I really do.
Thank you.
And, you know, you all really need to invite her out. Invite her. I mean, churches, anyone who has something that's speaking to our young ladies, that's what we've got to do. We have to do this. We have to speak to them. We have to, the silence that we've had in the past.
Yes. We have to stop that.
We'll lose a generation.
We will.
Just being quiet.
True.
And we can't let them make their own decisions. We have to teach them so that they can make a qualified decision.
Yes.
And your book does that. I really appreciate you, and I appreciate you and applaud you for finishing your book. I know you give your husband a lot of credit for that.
I do.
But I really appreciate and I applaud you for that.
Thank you.
And I hope that people will call you and they will say, I need a copy of the book. Make this book a part of a women's group where they're walking through the book and use it as a learner. I think it's just absolutely wonderful.
Right. We need to build self-esteem in our children and in our adults. That's the reason for the book.